On the Paper Talk today, we'll be talking about Luke Shaw and his injury problems and how they could scupper his World Cup chances. Also, Cristiano Ronaldo, there's a hot topic if ever I've heard one. Is he going to be around in January? Let's find out. Jay here of Stretford Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford and it's pretty grim. It's spitting. Get them in. It's spitting. Right, we're going to get straight into it. Loads of stories doing the rounds this morning. Some of them focusing on Cristiano Ronaldo, others on Luke Shaw, some on some transfer rumours, because we always love a good transfer rumour, even when the transfer window has shut. So we'll be getting into all that. We'll start with Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's missed the last couple of games through injury, according to reports. There's a report in the Manchester Evening News that said he's struggling with a foot injury. That's the reason he's missed two of United's last three games. He's also been dropped as well, hasn't he? Because we know he's been on the bench when he has been fit since Tyrell Malacia came in. I think he was subbed, wasn't he, Luke Shaw, against Brentford after that debacle, that first half debacle when we were 4-0 down. So he hasn't featured since then, and he has been sidelined, not just with the injury, but with, you know, selection, form, rotation, whatever you want to call it, just Malacia being preferred. Now, the World Cup is on the horizon, and according to some reports, this could scupper his chances of getting into the World Cup, England World Cup team. He was obviously a big deal, wasn't he, in the Euros, Roberto Carlos and all that stuff. But is he going to make the squad at this time round? Well, if he ain't playing for Manchester United, I think he's going to struggle. I think it's different with Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire is one of Southgate's main men, and I think Harry Maguire can probably sneak into that squad, even if he's only playing in the Europa League and the cup games or whatever, or being rotated. I still think Gareth Southgate will pick him because he's, you know, he likes him, and he's been a mainstay of Gareth Southgate's England teams. It's not quite the same with Luke Shaw. He's been in and out, and Ben Chilwell, who is at Chelsea and hasn't played much this season, and now has Cucurella's old boss. Cucurella's obviously gone to Chelsea from Brighton, and now the Brighton manager Graham Potter has followed him, so you think that Ben Chilwell may struggle for games as well, so there might be a little bit of a gap there, but I think Luke Shaw may struggle to get back into that England squad unless, of course, Erik ten Hag starts picking him for Manchester United. Frenkie de Jong, still doing the rounds, Frenkie de Jong. According to a report by Sport, United have not given up hope of signing Barcelona midfielder Frenkie de Jong in the January transfer window. It says here that United are basically, you know, just that, not giving up hope, could go back in for him. I'd be surprised if that happened. I think the signing of Casemiro, the form of Scott McTominay, may just point that United aren't going to go for anyone in January. I don't think we were going to anyway. After we bought Casemiro in and spent all the other money we spent, I didn't see us going big in January. We were talking to James Ducker from The Telegraph on a one-on-one interview last week, and he said something similar. He said he didn't see United going for anyone in January. So the idea of us bringing in Frenkie de Jong, it seems unlikely to me. We'll monitor it as we always do. But I'm just done with the Frenkie de Jong stories, aren't you? I've had enough. In terms of this weekend's fixtures, United, of course, hosting Leeds. The big one, well, one of the big ones, isn't it, is Liverpool, City, Leeds. Those are the big three in terms of hatred, disgust, rivalry, whatever you want to call it. There's some reports here this morning that the FA or the Premier League are going to have a meeting to decide what to do. John Cross in the Mirror last night, I think, was saying that games are going to go ahead. He also said, though, that there are certain games that will be looked at. I think Mike Keegan in Daily Mail said that police and football clubs are going to have talks because there is the Queen's funeral on Monday. Now, in theory, that means some games could go ahead over the weekend, but if there's big policing presence at certain games, they may have to rethink that. Now, obviously, you know, you think, well, United Leeds being up here, up north in Manchester, shouldn't affect the Queen's funeral in London, but it's logistics in it, and there can be a bit of a domino effect. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully the game goes ahead, because the last two times we've hosted Leeds, we've absolutely battered them, and it's been hilarious. But we'll have to wait and see. There's also the consideration of games piling up. We have got the World Cup, which I mentioned earlier. Keep postponing games. These games have got to be played at some point. It could cause a bit of a headache for the powers that be. Cristiano Ronaldo, should we talk about him? Now, there's a report this morning, I read it in the Express, I've seen it elsewhere as well, I think it's been in the Mail and a few other papers as well, that Cristiano Ronaldo's teammates think that he's going to leave in January. It says here that Manchester United players think Cristiano Ronaldo will try to leave in January after being denied an exit back in the summer transfer window. Reports say the Portuguese international is yet to score. Goes on about him being behind Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial in the pecking order. So it's saying there that he could end up moving in January. The trouble with Cristiano Ronaldo isn't him in terms of who he is or whatever. It's that no one's coming in for him. Like, he would have gone in the summer had a big club or a club that was in the Champions League been willing to pay his wages. Even if he took a little bit of a pay cut, he's still on massive money. And I think a lot of clubs looked at it and thought, we just don't need the headache, and I think you can call it that, of having one of the world's best players. But if you have Cristiano Ronaldo in your squad, it's usually all about him, innit? And I think a lot of clubs just looked at it and thought, not for us. And also, he didn't do himself any favours by the fact that at first it looked like he was going to stay, and by the time he announced or it was leaked that he was willing to move, a lot of clubs had already done their business. Talking of business as well, right? This headline just makes me laugh. Man United boss Erik ten Hag left red-faced as snubbed transfer target can't stop scoring. And then you look at it, and it's Marko Arnautovic who's got 6 goals in 6 games this season. And I think, why is that left Erik ten Hag red-faced? We know what happened with Marko Arnautovic, yeah? There wasn't just about his form or the fact he's 33 years old and what have you, and that he's not played in the Premier League for a few years and it seemed like another stopgap. There was a big thing about this backlash, apparently. Well, not apparently about the backlash, but apparently it influenced the club with Marko Arnautovic's, shall we say, somewhat questionable past as a person. So I'm not sure this whole narrative that Marko Arnautovic has left Erik ten Hag red-faced by banging in a few goals in Serie A really works. I think if you look what's gone on as well, we've gone out and we've bought, since then, we were linked with him, we've bought in Anthony, it's a different type of player, but we've spent 90 million quid or whatever it is on another attacker. So I just think it's trying to put Erik ten Hag in a negative headline there. I saw that in the Express. Donny van der Beek has been talking. And he's been talking about the fact that it's, more frustrating times for him, hasn't it? He says everyone wants to play, but you have to show that you need to improve. This is, I think he was talking to Club Media. I switch sometimes I play in a 10, sometimes in the 8, sometimes in the 6. In Ajax, so I can play in different positions. There's been some great defending, in particular from back to front. Yeah, he just goes on to say, I'm working really hard for it, so I'm positive I'll do my best. The last part of last season I was injured, so I missed a lot. I could feel that in the first few weeks of pre-season, but now I've started to feel better, so I'm really focused. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens to Donny van der Beek. I don't think he's got much of a chance here at Manchester United. I think the fact his old manager's come in and he's still not getting in the team doesn't bode well for him. I might be wrong. You never know. Everyone thought Scott McTominay was done, didn't they? And now he's the best player we've ever had. But he's doing very well, isn't he? Anyway, one final story. In The Athletic, David Ornstein talked about N'Golo Kante being out of contract in the summer and that a couple of Premier League clubs are interested in him. Now, Manchester United in the past have been linked with him, and a couple of people, on social media will be like, oh, look, Kante's a free agent. Should we go back in for him, or should we go in for him, try and bring him here? 31 years old. Had we not got Casemiro, I think that could be a possibility. I just don't see it happening. He's on big money. I don't know if we're going to go for a 31-year-old who has had injury problems the last couple of seasons. He's a phenomenal player, N'Golo Kante. He's really one of the modern greats, I think, honestly. I know that sounds a bit like hyperbole, but if you look at his record, winning back-to-back Premier League titles at different clubs, winning the Champions League, of course, and having a storm in the final. I mean, the kid's won a lot. But do I see Manchester United going in for a 31-year-old with injury questions? I mean, we've done it before, that sort of thing. I just don't know. I don't see it. Anyway, we'll keep you updated with all those stories and any more that come our way. We've got the Paddock podcast later on, so make sure you're checking out that. Check out the merchandise as well at paddockmerch.com. And don't forget to hit subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. We want to get to 700,000 subscribers by Christmas. And with your support, yes, we can do it. I've been Jay, outside a pretty drab Old Trafford. Hopefully it'll be sunshine and rainbows come this weekend if we do play at Leeds. Thanks for watching.